cover story. This week we have a very special and unique interaction with two generations of Congress leadership, Congress General Secretary Digvijaya Singh and his son Jaivardhan. We also have a session on some of the hottest political buzz in town. But first, take a look at this unique and exclusive interaction. Hello and welcome to a very special show where we talk to two generations of political leadership. As the face of Congress today, of course, we have Mr. Digvijaya Singh, a veteran congressman, former chief minister, and very much more. And to represent Congress tomorrow, we have his son Jaivardhan, who's just debuted from the Raghugarh constituency in Madhya Pradesh. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you. I must now correct you.
In what?
I'm a generation of yesterday. He is the generation of today. So please correct yourself.
Trust me, don't believe them. They're all still very young.
Exactly. Very young and still very active. So I'm not going to take your word for it. Neither of us are.
Your choice.
Yeah, outvoted. But one thing I want to ask you, why have you moved to the House of Elders? Is it because he's come in and now you're giving him the place to be more active?
No. Post 60, we have the senior citizenship. Therefore, I think there's a time when you must realize that you had your innings and you've contributed what you could. And now allow the younger generation to come in. So I have abdicated all my sort of work in the constituency and my family to my son.
So you are the Karta Dharta of Congress for this family.
Yeah, it's
Party and also personal issues also. He takes decisions.
because
now.
it's interesting times up ahead, just to see what he's done in the past 40 years in Raghugarh and the nearby area. And it's a big challenge to take that work ahead. So.
Mr. Singh, I want to ask you, the fact that you went to Lok Sabha, not the Lok Sabha but Rajya Sabha, is the Congress a little scared of not winning Lok Sabha seats, so all the important people are being placed in the Rajya Sabha?
Certainly not. Because, you know, Rajya Sabha is a house of elders. And therefore,
we are not declaring you elder yet. So.
Yeah, you may not, but I have declared. And therefore, I think the choice was always open to the leadership. I only offered that if you want me to work in the organization and spend more time in Delhi, then my home constituency, which I had been elected earlier, where my brother had been elected earlier also, where we have a sitting member of parliament from Congress party. I would not like to unseat him and take his constituency. And I was looking at 3-4 more Lok Sabha constituencies. I had volunteered to fight against. But then for that, I wanted to be relieved of my duties here in Delhi so that I could concentrate, at least in the last 2-3 months, in that constituency. But then the leadership decided otherwise, volunteered to fight against. But then for that, I wanted to be relieved of my duties here in Delhi so that I could concentrate, at least in the last 2-3 months, in that constituency. But then the leadership decided otherwise, and they thought I'll be more useful in the organization.
Mr. Singh, when you joined politics, I remember you were not keen on it. You were saying no. Now, 2 months, one election later, have you changed your mind?
No, I advise him not to get into politics because people think it's a very glamorous kind of life and Netas having a gala time, a grand time. But I have seen, the last 40 years of my political career, it's very tough. And the first casualty is the family. I've hardly seen my children grow up. The credit goes to my wife, who looked after them, looked after their schooling, looked after the household and the family. So therefore, I advised him, please think twice before you get into politics. It's a tough life. It's not easy. In fact, he was not at all interested in politics 5 years back. Suddenly got very interested. And then, of course, as all children use their mother, when the father is not agreeing, so he uses mother to influence me. So I agreed, so fine. If she told me if he wants to go into why do you stop him? I said, fine. It's his life he has to lead.
Any regrets now that you...
No, not at all.
Is it all as bad as the father says?
In fact, as he said, you know, he was the only person, him and actually Milind Deora, I remember speaking to him once about it, and he said, trust me, don't get into it. It's the most thankless job. And I mean, I'm still, I think, at a very early stage of my political career. But as of now, I think it's something which is, I think, what keeps any politician going, including my father today, even though he may say this is the most thankless job, is the motivation to do something good for either for your region or for your country. And I think that's the most important thing. And as long as someone has that in them, to really do something that where you can leave your mark, or you can actually do something for change, I think then why not, right?
So what is your model of governance? Are you going to be like your father's other protege and grow a beard and tear up papers and...
I believe in what Rahul Gandhi said. I remember one...
Which part do you believe in the most?
There was one interview which he... not an interview, but a meeting which he addressed in Kashmir, where on skill development, and there were many women who attended that meeting, where he said that development basically means, being Atmanirbhar, being self-dependent. And for me, that's the most important issue.
Who do you blame for the fact that they're not self-dependent?
A number of things. It's just the fact that...
Which party? Because Congress has been in power the maximum.
But
when you say something like this, or when Rahul says systems have to change,
but I feel that's very cynical. But I think it's very cynical to blame Congress. I think you have to actually, appreciate what the Congress has done the past 65 years, is to actually give us stability. Compare us with Pakistan. Look at the difference. Look at where India is, look at where Pakistan is, and that is all because of the Congress party, because of Jawaharlal Nehru ji and his strong foundation that they've given us, that today we are the largest democracy and we're proud of it. Is that a fault? Is that an asset which the Congress has today?
I see you've been listening and taking notes from your father. But what is it like?
Let me tell you. He hardly takes notes from me. He has he's been traveling a lot in the constituency. Then he's had the opportunity to have a sort of a global vision in his when he did his masters in Colombia, and he interacted with people from different countries. This, I think, I saw the difference in him before he went to Colombia and after he came back from Colombia. It has broadened his vision. And of course, today the age is of communication, the age is of internet. So every morning he religiously goes through his this exercise, and I'm very happy to note that he has understood what Congress is. Don't forget, in a democracy period, 60 years is not very much. It takes centuries to build up democratic systems, and we have been able to deliver what no other country could have delivered in this short span of 60 years. What were we in the 1947 when we became independent? Now where are we? We are a nation to reckon with in the global scenario.
But fine. But today, what is the legacy that your generation is leaving for his Congress legacy? Because political pundits, common thing is Congress is going to face its worst ever political drubbing in the Lok Sabha. The people are saying 2-digit.
Priya, this you have been predicting since long. In 2004, you predicted NDA victory. In 2009, again, you predicted NDA victory.
2009, even the Congress was shocked.
So, no, that's why we are going to shock you again. The point I'm trying to make is,
but it's a bad time for the Congress today.
If you see on every front, in every sector, if you see the performance of the UPA is much better than India. Where we have lost out are two things. One, we have lost out is because of lack of statecraft in this government and the lack of marketing skills in this government.
But which is why we have you. I see a tweet from you every day extolling the virtues of UPA. But given that, whatever the reasons are, we have one decisive leadership, being shown in the BJP. We also have some alternative Aam Aadmi Party. Why is the Congress not showing decisive leadership? Why is Rahul not coming forward and saying, I am the PM candidate? You are the only one who got it right. I have to again congratulate you on that.
The thing is, people don't understand that in a parliamentary democracy, there is no such thing as PM in waiting. In a parliamentary democracy, the voters vote for the candidate, for the member of parliament or MLA.
Of the party.
The face of the party is there. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi are the face of the party. So we don't have to look elsewhere.
So then why not go all the way and say, yes, I will be the PM?
Why preempt the 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 issue. Let the people give us the mandate to rule. Let the new members of parliament choose their own leader. Why should we preempt that?
But will they choose their own leader, or will it be the Manmohan Singh experiment again? Your MPs chose Sonia Gandhi, but she chose Manmohan. So who is Rahul going to...
No, I don't think this may happen. And I have gone on record in your first interview with me from NewsX.
Famous 2 power center.
So anyway, I'm not going to repeat that. But the fact remains that in a parliamentary democracy, we don't usually declare Prime Ministerial candidate. And at the same time, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji has announced that he is not seeking a third term. So therefore, let the new members of parliament be elected. Let the people of this country give us another mandate, and we shall choose our Prime Minister.
But I can see a 2 power center here also.
Where is the another 2 power centers?
You abdicated all to him?
I have total single power center now. I take orders from him.
I would like to see that. What would be what is the first thing he said? Did he give you some advice or when you became an MLA?
He said, don't be a Hawai Neta. He said, stick on the ground. And he said, we have in our constituency alone over 400 villages. He said, go to each and every village and know people in each and every village, like know their families, know, the history that we've had with them, and, stick to your roots and stay amongst the people. And he actually announced my phone number I remember around 8 months back. So, and I think it's really worked really well, because I feel in today's day and age, the voters want constant touch with, I think, their leader or with their representatives.
So did he get it right? Now you don't have a personal life now?
Yeah, it's true. And also, I think the most interesting thing that I find about this being in politics is there's no structure to it. So it's not like a 9-to-5 job. You have to, if a person comes and he wants something from you at 7 in the morning, you have to be there for him, or at 2 in the morning. And I think that's also the beauty of it, right? Is that it's a way of life, literally.
So there's a debate going on in your party about reservations. One senior Congress leader said that we should not have caste-based reservations. Then the party is stuck to a stand. What is your stand? Because not having caste-based reservation would be a forward-looking move.
No, I think it's a very interesting topic. Caste-based issues are more social issues, which are not there upfront to see, but are also very, I think, very serious matters of concern in terms of, human rights and everything, which is not quantitative, but it's qualitative issues. So that's also very interesting, I think a unique point, which I think is also important.
So you support it?
I mean, I think I would like to take a stand on it. I think at the moment, the fact that there is social-based, caste-based reservation, I think it's fair, and I agree with it.
It's a need of the hour.
Yeah, it's a need of the hour. And also, I think with time, I'm sure we will develop other frameworks where we can actually ensure that even people who are, economically weak will also, I think, get reservations along with caste.
See, reservation is an opportunity which had been denied to these sections for thousands of years. A Dalit family could not go to school. The Dalit family did not have the right to own a land. For thousands of years, they've been discriminated against. So this is an affirmative action for an underprivileged society, an underprivileged section. And it is only opening a window for them. Rest, they have to perform themselves. And therefore, but at the same time, this reservation as an issue is highly sensitive. But after 60 years, more than 60 years of reservation as an issue, although in the Constitution it was for 10 years, we've had it for 60 years. So let the next Parliament look into these sensitive issues as an important issue for the country, and let there be a commission headed by a Dalit, headed by a tribal, to look into the issues of reservation and how best we can sort of, should we continue with that or should we have any changes? But I think this is an issue which now should be brought into the public domain.
But you know, Mr. Singh, on a side note, it's usually you who brings up these debates in a public domain. You are the so-called loose cannon, as you would say. But how come Jaivardhan Singh is taken on your role?
I take it it's highly objectionable to call me a loose cannon.
Okay. How would you describe yourself?
I have always targeted my object. So therefore, I'm not a loose cannon. I'm a very well-focused, directed cannon.
Nice. That is well said. But how come Jaivardhan Singh will be to, you know, he's being used as a trial balloon?
No, for a change, he has expressed his private view.
For a change, which is usually your prerogative. But what is your advice to him now? You know, we've heard what you told him, but the road ahead, how would you describe to him?
Be himself.
Which he is.
I hope so.
Or be like you.
No, be himself.
Okay. But you know, we see political discourse now. He's spoken about Twitter and all. We've seen Mr. Singh, he's always at the forefront of the Congress attack. And sometimes, you know, he does get vilified also by the media. They say it's a personal exchange. How do you react to that, you know, when his opponents target him personally?
As far as the media is concerned, I think
Not media, actually, it's more the RSS and the Sangh. I think media and we have a very good relationship.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And as far as the RSS or the BJP or the Sangh is concerned, I think they're very wary of him because whichever points he puts across, they've always come out true. And I think no one likes being targeted and always being, picked on. So I guess the Sangh feels a bit insecure of him that way. So they try and do the same and try and target him as well. So I think I think, and that's politics, right? It's there even when you're fighting elections. You know, the two opposing candidates are, picking on each other, and that's what happens with him and the Sangh as well.
But has today's discourse degenerated, Mr. Singh? It's become, whether, I don't know, because of the new medium or whatever, it's becoming personal. Hasn't politics become very...
It's not that. In fact, if you see any democratic country, because in a non-democratic country you can't say anything, which is unpalatable to the powers that be. But every democratic country jibes at your opponents is very common. Of course, it has to be, I would say, not something which is hitting below the belt, and not derogatory.
And I do think there's because of the penetration of media, and technology, more so than media, technology. There will be times where I think personal privacy might be a bit, invaded. But I guess as a politician, you have to be open to that. As a politician, you give your entire life to public life. So
am I going to see you on Twitter very soon?
I think when there's a need for it. I think as of now, I'm only focused in my in my Vidhan Sabha area and the nearby area. So I think and if I do see and I do feel that a large number of youth are coming on Twitter, then I will get on Twitter. But as of now, I still think in that part of India, it's still to catch on. Of course, I mean, if I was a representative in a number of youth are coming on Twitter, then I will get on Twitter. But as of now, I still think in that part of India, it's still to catch on. Of course, I mean, if I was a representative
in a mistake and just focus on Bharat and not India. There is a whole India also. I mean, Rahul Gandhi has been said that he ignored the middle class, ignored the rest of India and focused only on rural India, which I think I can see a course correction happening now.
No, I don't think that's true. I think a number of things which Rahul Gandhi talks about, or which the UP 1 and 2 have done, have been across urban and rural India. So I don't think that's
okay, if your father wasn't in the Congress, would you have joined the Congress, or would that have been your first choice?
I mean, that's a good question, but I think it's just about the ideology, right? And it's something which today, if you ask me why have I joined Congress, not because of my father, but because of what the ideology is, and because, again, this country was founded on the principles on which Congress runs. So my question to anyone else is why not the Congress, why some other party which is against the country's ideology?
Mr. Singh, the Aam
Aadmi Party was a new experiment, a new effort by people from civil society who came into in politics and did fairly well. So I think it was good for the democracy. The cynicism in the youth, amongst the youth, among the middle class, about politics and politicians, was sort of getting beyond a point. And emergence of Aam Aadmi Party has given strength to our democracy. That even a fledgling party like Aam Aadmi Party in 1 year can get the mandate to become the chief minister and form the government in Delhi. Now it is for them to deliver. They have to deliver their promises. But what I'm seeing in the attitude of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is disappointing. He says, I am the law, I am the constitution, I am the court, and I am the Lokpal. So this, I think, doesn't work in democracy.
And the police.
So therefore,
he wants to be the police.
therefore, I think it is he should respect the constitution. After all, he has taken oath under the constitution to follow the rules, the law of the land. He just can't say that you are not right, I am right. Everything what I say is correct, everyone is wrong. I am the only honest person in the earth, everyone else is dishonest. This attitude will not work.
But still he has, given that he is one feasible option for Prime Minister. He is coming at his Modi versus Rahul versus Kejriwal.
Well, by saying that, why are you belittling Mayawati or belittling Mulayam Singh ji? Why not Jayalalitha ji, Mamta ji, or Naveen Patnaik? They've got more experience than Kejriwal. So it is the media which wants to sort of hype Arvind Kejriwal. We don't mind.
Back to the media. I'm going to just rewind a bit about this leadership issue and say, what is it with this generation of Congress leaders? They don't want to take leadership, whether it's Rahul being PM candidate or even Scindia. He took charge of the campaign, but the PCC chief ka time aaya, party didn't make him, or he didn't want to become whatever the politics were. So you need a face in every state.
Why don't you ask him?
You tell me, since you are one of the Congress elders.
No one asked me, so why should I say something which is not correct?
But isn't there a problem whether it is
No,
UP,
there is no problem.
If these young leaders would view...
in fact, when JV wanted to get into politics, he was asking me where should I begin. I said, you have to begin with the basics.
The grassroots.
And that is why I said you must go to the assembly first. Because this is where the action is. This is where under the federal system, most of the action is in the states. So he must develop his leadership within the state rather than come in the center. So I have, for example, Mr. Scindia or Mr. Sachin Pilot or Jitin Prasad. I have always told them, you have come to parliament too early.
That's right.
You should have gone to the states. Work your way up. Work there. That is where the action is.
Well, that's good advice. I'm going to let you have the last question. Is there something that you would like to ask him?
No,
that's puzzled you about his politics?
You've had a long, I think it's been over 40 years in politics. You started off as, a Nagar Palika president. Then you went on to become an MLA, then a minister, then a member of parliament, then a PCC president, then chief minister, then a general secretary of the All India Congress Committee, and now very recently a member of the Rajya Sabha. What do you feel is your biggest achievement in your last 40 years? Good question.
Well, my achievement is Mr. Jaivardhan Singh.
And I was going to ask you
That's not fair.
I don't think we can get a last word out of it. What is your biggest mistake? Let me try and get a last.
Certainly not Jaivardhan Singh.
Okay, on that note, this has been a very unique and a very interesting experience. Thank you so much for talking to us both. Thank you. And now we'll take a look at some of the delicious gossip that's going on in these corridors right behind me. Instead of inviting the media directly for Rahul Gandhi's events, the Congress is now sending out satellite parameters to the channels for coverage. Sources say that is because they don't want the media to see the PR agency team that hovers around Rahul, complete with halogen lights and choreography directions. as is what happened with Rahul Gandhi's interaction with the porters recently. Sara Pilot was seen campaigning along with Dipinder Hooda in the Mewat region of Haryana. But the buzz is that it's not Sara, but instead Sharmila Tagore who could be contesting from the area. A desperate Congress is so busy wooing numbers that Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kamal Nath was seen worrying about the poorly lit portrait of ex-NCP leader P.A. Sangma that hangs in the Speaker's Gallery in Central Hall. Is Modi posturing as a shadow Prime Minister? Note that it was not the leader of opposition, but instead Modi who hosted a dinner for BJP MPs to chalk out the party's parliamentary strategy. Congress party's internal survey reduces the party to 2 digits in the next Lok Sabha polls. The survey also gives the BJP a lead of 45 seats in Uttar Pradesh, with Mayawati coming second and Mulayam Singh third. In Bihar, the survey shows Lalu Yadav giving the BJP a tough fight for the first place. Well, before we say goodbye, let's just take a quick look at what politicians do when they're not playing politics. It was probably one of the last few social evenings in the political capital before the hectic campaigning for Lok Sabha polls takes off. Cabinet Minister Salman Khurshid was at his urbane best at his wife Louise Khurshid's book launch. Mr. Khurshid, about the book, you write poems, you've written a book. Do you see a literary side to the Khurshid?
Well, I was telling Louise to do it for a long time. I mean, I keep doing it on the fringes, but she's the writer in the family, she's the journalist.
Are there any of the favorite politicians in the book? Any Aam Aadmi?
Actually, I don't know if they're our favorite, but all the rogues are there, don't worry. It's a rogue gallery in prose.
The book, Travels with Chachi, is a political satire. But Louise, who is a former MLA and a former journalist, claims, with a smile, that the book is politically correct. Any of our political friends in the book?
I think you see a lot of political characters. I've tried not to be very unkind to people. Madhur Singh Yadav, the character through which I write the book, is, I would consider, today's everyman. I don't want to say Aam Aadmi, but today's everyman.
But more than the book, it was the atmosphere of One Last Hurrah that dominated the evening. A general feeling that there was a tough political battle ahead for the Congress. One perhaps that may have the makings of another book.
Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the exclusive interaction between Digvijay and his son. In fact, what really struck me was the very easy camaraderie between the two. And now it's finally time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching Cover Story and see you again same time next week.